Hey Siren, yeah you. I'm talking to the one who's been sitting on something for way longer than you'd like to admit. Yep, I see you. Stay with me for a few minutes, okay? This one's for you.
You've reached the Secret Society's Unfiltered AF hotline.
At the tone, please record your message.
Hey Size, it's your girl, Secret Frison, and the line is officially open. This sacred circle is for those who want to grow. This is where we heal out loud and in color. Okay, so it's Monday. This episode drops tonight. And when I woke up this morning, I had nothing. No topic, no script, not even an outline. It was just me, my coffee, and my blank notes app staring at me asking, okay girl, what next? And for a solid 10 minutes, I sat there thinking, maybe I just don't do an episode this week. Maybe I wait until I actually have something good. Here's the crazy part. Nobody would have known why. I could have blamed being busy, I could have blamed work, I could have blamed life, but if I'm being honest, the only thing standing between me and this episode is me. Because surely next week I'll feel more ready, right? I'll have more clarity, more time, more of whatever it is I think I'm missing. Sound familiar? Have you ever caught yourself saying this? I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll start the business when I'm ready. I'll go back to school when I'm ready. I'll leave when I'm ready. I'll show up as myself when I'm ready. And I think that might be the biggest lie that we tell ourselves. Not because we are lying on purpose, because we actually believe it in the moment, but it's a lie all the same. And today, I want to sit with that for a little because it almost cost me this very episode. So, where does this even come from? This idea that we need to be ready before we start. I think it starts small, innocent even. We tell ourselves we'll start once we have a little more money saved, or once we've healed from the last thing, or once we've lost the weight, or once we know more, or when we have more confidence, or when life slows down, as if life ever slowed down one time for a single person on its own. So on the surface, that all sounds responsible, like we're being thoughtful, strategic even. But here's the part I had to be honest with myself about. A lot of the time, we're not preparing, we are postponing. And postponing has a funny way of disguising itself as productivity. We'll buy another planner, watch another YouTube, save another video, read another book, research one more thing, and take one more course and tell ourselves we are getting ready. Meanwhile, we've never actually begun. Now we've just got really good at making postponing look like preparation. I want you to think about something in your own life right now. Something you've told yourself you are preparing for. Sit with that for a second. Now ask yourself honestly, are you preparing, or have you just found a really convincing way to keep waiting? I'm not asking this to call you out. I'm asking because I had to ask myself the same thing this morning when I was staring at that blank page. Let's actually talk about this word ready. What does that even feel like? Like, if you woke up tomorrow and you were finally officially ready, what would be different? What would you feel in your body that you don't feel right now? Because I've been trying to answer that question for years and I genuinely don't have a clean answer. Has there ever been a moment in your life where you felt 100% prepared for something? Not 80%, not 95%, I'm talking all the way ready. Me personally, I haven't, not once. Not before I hit publish on the first episode of this podcast, not before I said hard things to someone I loved, not before I made the decision that changed everything. And I think that's because ready isn't actually a destination. It's more of a moving target. The second we get closer to it, we move it. We say, okay, once I fix this, then there's that one more thing. And then once that thing gets fixed, there's a new thing. It's like chasing a finish line that keeps sliding 10 feet further every time you get near it. So maybe the real question isn't, when will I be ready? Maybe it's, what if ready was never the requirement to begin with? Can we get real for a second? Because I think we talk about waiting as if it's this neutral, harmless thing, like it doesn't cost anything. As if life is just sitting there patiently waiting for us to be ready to use it. But waiting takes things from us too, quietly and without asking permission. It takes our confidence because every day we don't start is another day that reinforces the story that we can't. It takes our momentum because momentum only exists in motion. You can't build it standing still. It takes our self trust piece by piece because every time we say, I'll do it later, and later doesn't come, we teach ourselves that our own word doesn't even mean that much. It takes opportunities that don't wait around for our timeline, and it takes experiences that we'll never get back. And this is the one that gets me the most. It takes our peace because unfinished dreams are loud. They follow you to the shower, into your commute, into a random Tuesday afternoon where you catch yourself wondering, what if I would have just started? Because the truth is, there's nothing peaceful about carrying around a version of your life that you keep meaning to start living. Here's something I keep coming back to. Every day you wait for permission from a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. Today's version pays the price. Let that sit for a second. You're not just waiting for future you. You're waiting for an idea of you, one that's more confident, more healed, and more together. And meanwhile, the actual you, the one who's here right now today, is footing the bill for that wait. That's not preparation. That's a quiet kind of theft. And we are the ones doing it to ourselves. So if waiting isn't the answer, what is? Here's the flip. And I think this is the part that changes everything if you actually let it land. Confidence doesn't usually come first. Confidence comes from doing the thing, not before it, after it. Think about anyone you know who started a business. Do you think they felt ready? They didn't. They were probably terrified and did it anyway, and the confidence showed up somewhere in maybe month 6, not day 1. It reminds me about recording the very first episode of Unfiltered AF almost a year ago. I wasn't sitting there thinking, wow, I'm finally qualified to have a podcast. Not even close. I was thinking, well, this is either going to work or it isn't. But if I never hit record, I'll never know. So I hit record. And honestly, I've watched the exact same thing happen with content creation. Some videos reached a few hundred, some reached a few thousand, some surprised me, and some completely flopped. If we're being real, the ones that I knew would go viral, crickets. Then the videos that stayed in the drafts that I almost deleted and I almost didn't post ends up being the one everybody loves. You just never know. Imagine if I had decided after one low view video that maybe I just wasn't cut out for this. I would still be waiting. The confidence didn't show up first. It showed up because I keep showing up. Same with going to therapy for the first time. Same with setting a boundary with someone you love for the first time, even though your voice shakes the whole time when you're saying it. The same with starting a fitness journey when you can barely make it through the first workout. Nobody feels ready for any of that. What they have instead is a willingness to feel unready and do it anyway. And it's that action, that first uncomfortable, clumsy, doubt-filled step that actually builds the confidence that we thought we needed to have before we started. I think we've had it backwards this whole time. Confidence isn't the ticket to entry. It's the receipt you receive after you've already walked through the door. So let's bring this back to this morning, because if I had waited until I felt ready to write this episode, genuinely, truly ready, with a perfect topic and a polished outline and total clarity, this episode wouldn't exist. You wouldn't be listening to this right now. But instead, I sat with the discomfort of not knowing and I started anyway. And somewhere in the middle of not knowing, this showed up. And maybe, just maybe, you've been asking yourself the wrong question this whole time. Instead of asking, when will I be ready? Start asking, what's one small step I can take today? So let me ask you the same question I had to ask myself this morning. What have you been waiting to feel ready for? Really, think about it. Don't rush past it. Maybe the biggest lie isn't that you can't do it. Maybe it's believing that you have to become someone else before you're allowed to begin. Life probably isn't going to wake up tomorrow and hand you perfect timing. There will still be bills, you'll still be tired, you'll still have responsibilities, you'll still have doubts, and you'll still probably hear that little voice asking, who do you think you are? The only thing that changes is whether you decide to move anyway. 1 year from now, you'll either be celebrating the decision you made today or you'll still be telling yourself maybe next Monday. Here's the thing I want to leave you with. The version of you you're waiting on isn't sitting somewhere in the future. They're being built every single time you are choosing courage over comfort, progress over perfection, and every time you decide to start before you feel ready. So take the first step. I'll meet you there. And until then, be you, be unshakable, and be unfiltered AF. The line is now closed.